we're going to continue with adding listener events or event listeners, but this time we're going to use ActionScript 3.0 like always. And this time we're going to dynamically alter movie clips by using our button, our add event listeners. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'll call this our let's call it our objects layer. And then layer 2 will have our action scripts, actions. Right, so let's go back to layer 1. And things I'm going to have is I'm going to make a button. So purple looks good. So I'll draw purple button right here. Or it's a rectangle, but it'll become a button. And then we'll do some shapes. So let's do a pentagon, and let's make the pentagon red. So we have a red pentagon, and let's do a star. So we got our polygon tool. We come under options, and we're going to turn it into a 5-point star, and we'll make the star blue. So I have a blue star here. And then let's make a 12-point star. 12-point star. And we'll make that green. That's good. And let's increase the stroke on this one. All right, so there you go. So we have all these objects, or we have all these graphic images on the board, and we're going to turn them into movie clips and a button. So let's start with our button. So we'll convert this to symbol, right? So I can go under modify, convert to symbol, or I can hit F8, and I'm going to call this my BTN. No, call it purple button. Purple space button. And I'm going to export for ActionScript, so that'll give it ActionScript linkage. I'll just this is just a general habit. I'm not really going to use this linkage for our tutorial now, but I'll do it now when I create it, so that later, if I want to, it'll be there. So okay, and it says definition. Would you like to generate? Yeah, sure. Okay. So there's my button, and now I'm going to create a movie clip. So I right click, convert to symbol, or I can hit F8, or I can go up to modify. This is going to be a movie clip. I'm going to call this one red pentagon. Export. Okay. Sure. Okay. Blue star. Modify. Convert to symbol. Movie clip. Blue space star. Okay. And this one here, right click or modify, convert to symbol or F8, green star. Export. Okay. Okay. All right. So I got all these things. What I'd like to do right off the bat is I'm going to call this. I want to create an animation here. I like to do that with these stars. So let's convert. Right click, convert to symbol again. I'm going to call this inner star. Export. Okay. Yep. So so now I have this, and I'll go over to, let's go 30, and I'll insert my keyframe, and I'll transformation tool, and I'll pull it out like this. It's easier to do, and I'll click. So now it's on this simple rotation, and I'm going to use the classic motion tween. I'm going to create a motion tween another way in the next part of this, but I'm going to use a classic motion tween. I'm used to that because I'm a classic Flash type of person. So we have all these. All right, my select tool. All right, we have all these, and now I'm going to name this BLUESTAR. Capital STR. I'm going to name this instant GRENSTAR. I'm going to name this RED Pentagon. And I'm going to name this BTN lowercase purple. And I'm going to do this like I do always. So let's do something here. Let's click our over, insert keyframe, and down, insert keyframe, and we'll do something different. But let's do for this. Let's say over makes it a little bit brighter. Oh, that was the down button. That's okay. And over makes it there. That's good, right? Let's see what that looks like. Yep, nice change. A little bit subtle when it goes down. All right, so let's put this here, and there's no ActionScript code, so let's see what happens. Control test movie. Let's see how it is originally. So this is rotating real nice, and see, click, click, click. So you can see all this thing, and this does nothing over here. So we have this set up. Let's start creating our ActionScript here. So I can hit F9, or I can do Windows ActionScripts, and let's do the first thing here is we're going to add our event listener as the button. So we have our button purple dot add event listener, and we're going to do a mouse event. Now, what we did previously, right? So this is the mouse event that we're thinking of, and we'll call this a fade. Is going to be our function name. All right. So we have our event, and we used click. So when we click the mouse, but we can be more specific where we have, and I'm going to change this from click like we did last time to mouse underscore down. Oops, capitals, all capitals. Mouse underscore down. All right, so mouse down is when you click down. All right, when you left click down. So it's like a click, but what we have is we also are now going to use a mouse up to change things. So when we click down, it'll do one thing, and when we click up, or we allow the mouse to be released, it will go back to its original whatever we're doing. So for this fade, what we're going to do is we're going to we have our function. All right, we create our function that we're given the name fade, and this is an event. And it's a mouse event. And we have no data in there, so it's voided data. I'll move that back though. Void data, and we have a curly bracket or curly brace, and we're going to have the red pentagon change its alpha or become invisible equals 0.5. So it's going to have half the visibility it did before. So we could test this right now. So let's see, Control, Test Movie in Flash, and if I click the button, all right. So when I went down on it, I clicked it, but it was clicked down. So now we can have we can continue this. I'm going to copy this, copy, and I want it to return right back to the way it was. Paste. So I have my purple button, and now I'm going to have my I'm going to have a mouse up. So this is when I release the mouse. I'm going to give this a new function name. It's going to be fill. Right, one was fade. We're going to put solid. Let's do solid. So this will be solid. So our function, our solid function, is going to return it back. So our alpha is going to go back to 1. So that's 100% visibility. So let's Control, Test Movie in Flash. So we see down. Now I'm holding it. When I release, boom, it goes back. So I click down, and when I release it, it goes down. So if I do it fast, it's real quick. When I click down, release it, it goes back up again. All right. So that's different than if I just clicked it. Then every time I click it, it might do something, but I have a release that changes back, or I can have something change back to it. All right, so now let's do something else with our button. So we had our first thing, and I'm gonna keep the button, copy, and paste, because for the most part we're gonna always have these. We're gonna add event listeners, and we have a mouse event. But this mouse event that I'm going to use now is called the mouse over. So when my mouse goes over the purple button, something's going to happen. And let's see what's going to happen. We have I'm going to make the star grow. Star grow. So our function star grow. And I want to show you, we have event, but we can actually shorten this to just E. All right, so we can write just there E, and that E stands for an event, and it's a mouse event. But this, we're going to have something different here. So this one we're going to do the blue star. The blue star is going to grow. So we're going to have its scale X, and we're going to double it, equals 2. I'm not going to copy this for the. We could have just its width. This is its width. We could have that just grow, but we'll have the whole thing grow proportionally. So we'll have the width and the height grow. So we'll have our scale Y also grow. So now let's try that out. Control, Test Movie in Flash. So this is a rollover. So oh, look at that, doubled in size, but it doesn't go back. And then this clicks here. So we can now do this over again. Copy and paste. And we had the mouse over. We could do it to mouse out. So now this is when we went over it. Now we go out of it. We'll call this the star shrink. Let's call that the function star shrink. And we'll have the scale equals 0.5. Scale equals 0.5. CS5.5, and then let's see what happens. Control, test movie in Flash Player. So now it's even smaller though. So it gets big, it gets small. So this was half its original. That's twice its original. That's half its original. Click it. This fades. Oh, release. Look, I could click and go off this. I have to release on the button. So that's neat if you want to change something like that. So so we got some other things. So what else can we do? Oh, we can do. Let's copy this one again. Copy, and let's come down here and paste. All right, so let's do another thing with our red pentagon. Red pentagon. So now we're going to do something with the red pentagon. What we're going to do with the red pentagon is we're gonna click on it like we did before. So we have our mouse down. So when we click down on it, we're gonna call this function the drag function. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to drag it when we click down. Something else we can do is if we're using the same thing, red pentagon, we can also call it the event target, e.target. So this is whatever we had in our event listed up here. So we're clicking on the red pentagon, and we're going to drag the red pentagon. So and let me do this real quick. If I leave this, you get stuck to it. Copy. So what I'm going to do here, you can try that if you want. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to stop drag when I mouse up, when I release. UP. So we have our red pentagon mouse event. I'm going to call this the drop. So we got drag it, and I have drop it. All right, so we have drag it and drop it. And let's see, control, test movie and Flash. All right, so something's wrong. All right, nothing's working. So what did I do here? Drag. So what I had here was I copied and pasted this said event, and this says E target. So it didn't like the fact that I was using event here and then E here. So if I had this event, then I should change this to the event target. All right. And if I have this E, then I should have it as the E target, so that it has the same syntax. Okay, so that's what the problem was there. So now when I hit Control, Test Movie in Flash Player, all right. So now you can see I can drag this around, and I can put it next to things. The transparency. All right, so there we go with that. All right, so now the last thing, what we'll do is we'll add another event called the rollover event. So we'll add that to the blue star. Where let's copy and paste this. Copy. All right, so this is just like our mouse over, except what this is going to be. We got our blue star, and we're going to call this the rollover. Instead of mouse over, we'll just call it rollover. And we'll call this the star stop. Call it the star stop. And what we'll do is we'll just have it stop. We'll have the green star that's moving, we'll have it stop. So green star stop, and then we'll copy. We'll do this in a pair too. Paste. We'll have the play. Right, we'll have the green star play when we roll out. Right, so you'd roll over it, and then out means off the top of it. We'll call this the star go. All right, the star go. All right, so let's control, test movie, and Flash player. So when I'm on this, it stops, and when I move off it, it goes. So I can drag this. I can make that big or large. Now it's still, now this is small, it's still on that image. I can fade that, or I can make it solid again. Alright, so that really is everything. You get a good idea of how to change these movie clip properties by using listener events.